In this video, we're going to show an event system that uses with real dates. So right now you can see the event starting in 10 seconds, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And now the event is active for 7 minutes because that's what I said. So if you want to access the code or the assets of this tutorial, check our Patreon in the description. And now let's continue with the video. Hi everyone. In this tutorial, we're going to do a event system. So, I'm often used in like still the Brainrot games and stuff like that. So basically, this is a device that allows you to set up a event in using real time. So using real dates. So if you look at the... Alright, that's great. My Fortnite just crashed. Alright, that's alright. So we have, and this is UTC, so this is UTC time zone. So you can set a start date and an end date. And basically, during this time, during the hours or days or whatever of this event, you can do your stuff, right? Do your special stuff. So obviously we have triggers for these. So on event started trigger and on event ended triggers for you to connect these to anything you want and do anything you want, right? But we also have prop arrays, so like props to show on event and props to hide on event. So these props will basically, these cubes will be when it's not the event. So at default, so before the event or after the event, these will be like visible, and on the event, during the event, these will be hidden. And these are the other way around, so they will be only visible during the event, right? So you can fill those arrays nicely. And so we have event waiting prop and event active prop. So if the event has already ended, none of these will be visible. But during the event, so it will show the event active prop. So in this one, I'm just displaying this texture on a plane. I don't know, maybe you have something else that you want to show, you can set it up like that as well. But what we did is, on the event active prop, it's just a plane with an event ends in texture on it, and when the event is not active, but when the event has not yet started, it shows the event starts in. And so this is the timer. So this will show if the event has not started yet, this will be the countdown for the event. And if the event has started, this will be the countdown for the event to end. And if the event has already ended, neither this timer or this props here will be visible. So none of them will be visible. And we have event active timer hood. So this is like a hood messenger that is set to show on everybody and no effects, because when during the event is active, this will also display the remaining time for the event on the hood. But if you don't want to use something like that, you can just not set the show. And event timer display prop is just a plain prop, and we set the material. What we do is we use a dynamic like event timer material. So this uses again similar to our previous similar to our previous tutorial with the dynamic price material. It uses a texture atlas, right? So it's basically same thing. It has a bit of stuff, but what it does is just, it takes these the characters from this like texture atlas and then puts them on to the material, right? So it displays the days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So that's the format that it has. So let me show you actually. So this is where we set up the parameters for it. So for all the these are basically like indexes for the like characters on the atlas. Some of them are just constant because even an empty space is a character if you look closely. So the letter S, letter M, they are constant, so they are not parameters, but the digit values are parameters because they're settable. So they're all connected to reroutes. Also, we have. Okay, this is actually okay. So this is for the texture because texture has like 4 rows and columns. This denotes the texture size. And so this is creating an alpha mask for cell. So this is right now you can see the result, but I'm not even sure if you're using that, to be honest. But yeah, so we have we have 15 digits here laid out. Really? Do we? Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, that surprised me a little bit. So yeah, this like calculates basically the width for each slot, and then it just basically this is the like what is the like slot index, the character slot index of the current UV, right? So if the U is like at the start, it will be like this one, or maybe it's like something in the middle. It will be something like here. And then depending on that index, what we are doing is for each of those like 15 digits, right? We're basically getting that rerouted value, and we are adding them all up. And obviously, we will only the current char slot index will have effect because the subtraction and the saturation will result in a 0 unless it's the current char slot. So this result will be only the result of a like one path from all these like additions. And then then here we are again doing that same like UV calculation. Basically, we are getting that like cell from our texture atlas, and then putting that on the putting that on the material on where it belongs, right? Depending on that char index. And it has and so it's actually easier to show on the material instance. So these are all set by the code, not stuff that you need to worry about. So these are the 2 parameters that you can set. You can change its color, right? And you can also change its size, all that good stuff. Now we also have, for Halloween we have like textures, and we also have, I don't use it in this example, but we also have some like Christmas textures, and they are just set on the, so this is just the camera facing material, so it's just texture and the sprite node, and I have like 2 instances from them. Just uses these texture as as parameters, and then they are set on the prop here. And I already showed you the values, all the things you can set on here. I guess, yeah, I did. And of course, I'm gonna show you the code in a second. And if you want to like access this code of this project, or the assets of it, so all these textures and materials, you can check our Patreon description. So let's continue. So this is the important one. So this is only thing you need to set in the code. Basically, you need to set the like material assets path on this variable here, and then yeah. So what it does is obviously it's doing like date conversion. So date conversion to epoch second. So that's why we have all the days of the month defined. Then we have our date defined, and then I want to show you the conversion. So basically, no, not that one. Okay. So basically, yeah, we are basically converting that date to epoch seconds, right? We are basically calculating how many days it has passed, how many days passed. So we are, accounting the leap years, and then we are like adding all the days and the hours and the minutes and converting them all to seconds, right? And so this returns the seconds passed. Format seconds, this is for the hood messenger that I showed you, just a small utility function. And then this is the material function. So basically you give it the material and the total seconds, and so it just basically calculates all the like index values it needs to set for all those parameters, and then it just basically sets those parameters, right? So so 0 means like digit 0 on the texture atlas. It basically depends on the positioning you do on the texture atlas. So on this one you can see, so 0, 1. So this actually up till 9, the indexes will follow the values of the characters actually. So this will be index 0, 1, 2, but then here this will be index 10, 11, 12, 13, and then empty spaces 14 and 15 actually. But yeah, again, this is like material specific. This is not actually about the logic of the event device. So we also seen all of this. So what we keep as the state here, the start epoch, end epoch. So the timer target epoch, this is the material timer, the state for if the event is active or not, and the timer material stored in this optional value. So first create the material, we set the material, we convert the dates to epoch seconds, and then first the timer target will be the start epoch. So we just assume here that the event has not started yet. But then we get the current epoch, and so then what we do is like we set the state as if the event is not active, and not just in the sense of event didn't start yet. We are setting stuff as if the event has already ended, right? So we are hiding all that stuff. And if the event is active, what we are doing is we are setting the timer target time to end epoch, and then showing the timer and starting the event, and calling the tick per second function. If the event has not started yet, then we're gonna again show the timer, show the waiting display prop. So event starts in the textures that says event starts in, and then we are gonna spawn the async tick per second. And so in the start event and the end event kind is symmetrical. So we set the flag. Timer target is end epoch, which we already do here, so that's kind of duplicate, but whatever. So we show the event active display prop. So this is the event ends in. This is the texture that says event ends in. We hide the event waiting display prop. Then we show the timer again to make sure. We show the event props and hide the default props, and then we trigger this trigger to notify anyone listening. And when the event ends, so we set the flag to false. We hide everything. We just hide everything, right? And we do show the default props again. Let me delete that empty space. And then we trigger the event ended trigger. If the event has already, to notify anyone that the event has ended. And on the async per second, basically this runs only if the event is active. If this runs only if event is active or event has not started yet. But if event has started and ended, then this function will not run, or it will exit, right? So it takes for each second and looks at the time left for the event, so that sets that time on the material, right? And then if event is false and the current epoch seconds is greater than start epoch seconds, so it's going to start the event. If event is active though and the current epoch seconds is greater than end epoch, it means we need to end the event, and it also breaks. And on the case of event being active, it will just also set the time on the timer HUD. So the larger picture of what this device does is, if the real date is such that the event has not started yet, it will basically run the countdown till the event has started. But if it will start the event if during the game time date comes to that. But when the game starts, if date is already inside the event duration, it will just jump off, start the event right now and there. But if when the game starts, if the event has already ended, event date has already ended, then it will not do anything. It will not do anything about the event. And obviously, during the game, when the event is running, when the event is active, and and the date surpasses the current date surpasses the event end date, then it will end the event. And so let me show you. Let me launch my session. Oh, actually no. So I need to update the timer here, so need to convert my time to UTC. So I'm 1751, so that's going to be 14. So let me convert this to 454 and 14, 56 actually. So that's that. Okay, let's make it 57. I think it will be okay. Make it 55. Maybe it will not be able to run in a couple of seconds. Sorry, a couple of minutes. All right, now I'll pause the video here and I'll be back when the game has launched. All right, we are back and I just caught it. So it's like 17 seconds counting down. Event is about to start, and so props to hide are visible right now, and props to show are not visible. They will be switched. Their visibilities will be switched in 1, 0. Okay, and so it's switched to event ends in. So we've seen the event started. So that was connected to the trigger. I didn't show you guys that, I believe, but yeah. So it's counting down. So actually, let me show you that. What I did was, um, yeah. So it's just, to show you, you're basically just using these events of these triggers connected to these hood messengers, just that says event started and event ended, and that's all. Right. So yeah, it counts down, and I don't want to make you wait for 3 minutes, so I'll again pause and continue when the event is about to end, right? And actually, let me end the game. Actually, let me show you how that works, right? And I'll start the game, so then the event will start right away, because the date is active, and it will trigger the event, start to trigger, so that's why you see the hood, and it continues where it has left off. And actually, no, I can yap for like 2 minutes, right? So yeah, maybe a question that you might have is, wait, so like I want to chain these events. I want to have like multiple events at the same time, or maybe I want to have like events one after the other, or stuff like that. What I'm gonna do? What am I gonna do in that case? Okay, and it's just simple. Just put multiple of these babies, put multiple of these event devices. Set up your stuff, set up your timer props, set up your triggers props, whatever, and that's actually it. And that will work. It's just a simple device to set up, and it will just work. As long as you set up the dates correctly, everything should be fine. Make sure to, that's why also in the naming, I explicitly made it UTC to make sure that, this is the UTC time. So don't try to set the state thinking about your own time zone if you are not, living in the UTC time zone exactly. But, maybe you do, but most probably not, right? So you need to do that conversion. And yeah, so to say again, really easy to set up device, but yeah, yet really powerful. If you want to, I've shown you all the code and stuff, but if you want to access the code file directly, or any of these assets, any of these beautiful textures or dynamic material, you can check our Patreon. And yeah, it's going down. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it, if I could yap for 2 minutes, but I did. So kind of proud of myself. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, but okay, 3, 2, 1, boom. So event ended. Those are gone. Those are completely gone, and these are visible. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share if you've enjoyed. And also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. See you later.